Hi everyone, so today I want to talk to you a little bit about the Tao Te Ching, Taoteaching, or in Standard American we go Daodecing. And Tao means the way. And so for today's lecture we're talking about how to achieve harmony in and with the world, and the Tao would be one way to do it because it is the way, and so we're going to take a look a little bit about it. Now, it was brought forth to the world by a man named Lao Tzu, and this was 300 to 500 years BC, and he created the writings of the Tao Te Ching, and if you look at them, there's a lot of opposition in those. And if we look at opposition as it relates to religion, we understand that opposition is important in the world. We have male, we have female. If you look at that circle diagram with the black on one side and the white on the other, the black side or the dark side is female, the light side or the white side is male, and so we start to see opposition in everything. Even the Mormons in the Book of Mormon talk about that there must needs be opposition in all things. So we don't know good without evil. We don't know evil without good. Although I will say in the Tao Te Ching, the Tao Te Ching doesn't discuss issues of right and wrong or sin, because essentially everybody is both one side or the other, right? So although it's in opposition, it is also a balance. And actually springing from the Tao Te Ching is Qigong. That would be Qigong, I believe, and Tai Chi. And many of you will be familiar with Tai Chi. You've probably seen people maybe out in the park doing slow movements that deal with energy of the earth, energy of the self, energy of the universe, and movements. And if we, again, as we look at oppositions, which is one of the themes of the Tao Te Ching, if we understand oppositions, a movement in Tai Chi, so sort of if we go forward, then we have to come back. If you go up, then you have to come down. If you go down, I'm talking about moving your energy, it has to come up. So there's opposition in everything. And it even talks about sort of a way of sort of doing nothing. And what that sort of lends to is you can actually be doing something and also do nothing at the same time. And we understand this with movement of our body. If let's say I want to flex my arm, so as I flex my arm, my bicep contracts. The tricep area, however, relaxes and stretches. So where I've got the bicep contracting and getting harder, the tricep area is relaxing and getting longer. So we have opposition. And then when I release that, the bicep gets longer where the tricep starts to tighten up. So there's, even within our body, there's opposition. And so as we go forth in the theory, we're dealing with a perception of everything is sort of in opposition with each other, which puts it in balance with one another. And the Tao is the way. And the Tao is a little bit difficult to explain itself, but it is the way, because we can talk about lots of ways. There's a way to deliver this lecture, right? It can be delivered in fact, there are many ways to deliver the lecture. There is a way to get to your job from home. There could be many ways to get to your job from home. Jesus said in the Bible, I am the way, the truth, and the life. So that is a way, and the Tao is a way. So we want to understand that a little bit. So Lao Tzu, no one actually knows who he is. He's more of a legend than a real person that anybody can actually pin down. So there are some legends about who he is and how he developed the Tao Te Ching, or the writings for the Tao Te Ching. Some people say that he was a hermit and sort of lived away from society, and yet the Tao Te Ching has lots to do with being in society. But one of the things that it is it's a more personal way of being in society rather than a way to but you're in society in sort of your own way, and you don't have to conform with what are societal norms, because you conform with what are the needs of your way. And so you can participate in the way that works for you. Okay, so I'm going to read a little passage from the Tao Te Ching that gives you an idea of some of this opposition that I'm talking about, and you figuring out your way. So on page 79 of my version of the Tao Te Ching, it says, failure is an opportunity. If you blame someone else, there is no end to the blame. So you blame someone, but then the blame never ends. Therefore, the master fulfills her own obligations. Remember, I said that he would use he or she interchangeably. So in this one, he uses the master as being her. Therefore, the master fulfills her own obligations and corrects her own mistakes. She does what she needs to do and demands nothing of others. So if we understand this to be part of the way is and being in society, is there are things that can happen. You can have failures in your life, and if you blame other people for those failures, then that blaming will never end. And in reality, for many people, that's true. It's always, some people have that feeling of it's always somebody else's fault, and it's never my own fault or reasons or something that I've done for why that we get to why the failure happened. But if the master fulfills her own obligations and corrects her own mistakes, that's certainly an important principle to live by. She does what she needs to do and demands nothing of others. So if you think about that concept of being in society and doing what you need to do to take care of yourself, and expects or demands nothing from others, then that's that sort of self-focus of taking care of yourself. Now, another passage that is on page 43 in my version, it says, and this is very specifically the opposition concept that I was talking about, the gentlest thing in the world overcomes the hardest thing in the world. That which has no substance enters where there is no space. This shows the value of non-action. So when I was talking about Tai Chi earlier and dealing with action and non-action, sitting and being is an action and a non-action. It continues, teaching without words, performing without actions, that is the master's way. So you could spend a lot of time thinking about concepts like that. What does that mean, teaching without words, performing without action? That is the master's way. Does it mean sitting and being still? Because sitting and being still is actually and action. Teaching without words. If you're demonstrating something, for example, I spoke of the Mormons a little while ago with the Book of Mormon, and the Mormons have a philosophy of being an example to others. And so what they don't tend to do is try to run upon you and preach. The missionaries do, but the average member of the Mormon church, they sort of lead by example. And so how they'll get you to be interested in what they believe and what they know is by they do the things that they believe, and then by doing that, people may be attracted to their behavior. So there is a doing, but there is a not doing, because they're not trying to go out necessarily to convert people or even bring you in. They're just doing their daily things that they do. That is their way. And by doing that, which is actually doing nothing, because they're not trying, they're just being who they are. They're being, they're not doing. But that doing, which is doing nothing, may attract people. So that's some similarities to the Tao. The way is you finding your way to be in the world and be in harmony with it. So that's just a tiny little taste of the Tao Te Ching. Hopefully that helps you, and we'll talk about a couple others soon.